Hey, what's up, guys? So I have a couple plants here that need separated and repotted. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'll show you how I do it. As you see, this one here has several plants in there together. So we'll be separating that, as well as this one here. As you can see, there are quite a few in there as well. So let me fill these pots up with dirt, and we'll get to it. Okay, so we have our pots filled, and we're just going to take and make a hole down in the center of it and just kind of push all the dirt, or pull it rather, over to the sides, the edges of the pot. And that will create a nice hole down through the center. And now we'll do this with all three, and then we'll take and dump this out and separate them. So same thing goes with this one. Just pull all the soil to the edge of the pot. Creates a nice hole down through the center. And if that's too deep, you can always fill it in a little bit. And we're just going to do 2 for this one. So, alright, let me dump this out and we'll go from there. So, that actually just pulled right out of there. We're going to have to break this apart a bit to separate them. So, don't be scared to dig in there a little bit, and just kind of, first you can massage the roots and it'll loosen them up a bit, and then you can go about separating them. And don't worry about breaking some roots. You're going to rip some roots, it's okay. I'm just going to do it right on the table here. And I just dig my fingers in there and start gently pulling apart. Man, these are really in there. There we go. So it sounds terrible, it looks terrible, but it will be okay. So we have 2 of them here. I'm going to leave these 2 together, and we're just going to set them right down in the pot. And then we'll backfill. And that will take a little recovery time, but it will, nonetheless, it will be okay. So, and then so this one's a patch of 3 of them, and I'm just going to leave these together as well and stick these down in this pot. Alright, so we'll set these to the side. And this one, so I'm down to only 1 pot left, so I don't think I'm going to separate this one, but I'll be repotting it into a bigger pot. So this isn't much bigger, but you gotta work with what you got sometimes. So same thing goes, pull the soil to the side. I do one thing different when I have a flower that's already in a pot like this, and I'm just going to transplant it. I usually take pot and all and stick it in there, and that way you know exactly how big of a hole you need to make. So you squeeze the bottom, push up a little bit, it should come right out. Look at all those new root tips coming out everywhere. This would be a good time to add a microbe product as well if you have one. We'll make this hole a little deeper. A little deeper yet. There we go. So I know it's not much of a bigger pot, but you know, this is what we're working with. So, alright guys, so that's it. I'll catch you on the next video. One thing I did forget to mention about repotting is after you do repot the flowers, you may want to water in. If your soil doesn't have a lot of moisture, it's always a good idea to water after you repot. I didn't do it this time because I just moistened my soil and it has a nice amount of water retention, or amount of water in it. So just a note, it's always a good idea to water after you transplant.